You're not. Oh, now it is.
Not. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, see, that's what I said.
And welcome to another Friday episode of Ripping the Rack podcast, where anything goes. Anything goes, except for Candle Penalty.
Anything goes? All right,
Anything
hold on,
goes.
boy. We're getting.
Anything goes?
Oh, yes!
We already
What are
got
you
kicked
doing?
off of YouTube.
I thought you said anything goes.
Well, we
That
know
doesn't-
Julie's not there, so.
Anything that doesn't violate YouTube's community standards.
Oh God.
Oh, you can go topless on YouTube. He's male.
You can go topless.
All right, well then let's freaking do it. All right, come on.
Yeah,
You can't be in a hot tub.
Boobies!
Be in a hot tub.
We gotta get
Anywho.
the only thing
Great
excited.
start to this show.
Welcome to Friday, everybody.
Welcome
How
to
we
Friday.
doing?
I am one of your hosts. My name is Tim, and that's all you really need to know. On my left, I don't know if he's on top, on bottom, on your right, or on your left, but on my left is our Canadian
Correspondent.
Canadian correspondent. I like
our
that.
Canadian correspondent, Mr. Calvin Locke. He is coming to
Our
us
Triple C.
live.
He's our Triple C, Canadian correspondent Calvin.
Yes.
Oh, we have a triple C on the show. Oh
Sure.
my goodness.
Yeah, we have Triple C on my right.
Candlepin
He
champion.
is on top.
I can be the 5C.
He's quintuple C. Uh-oh.
Canadian correspondent, Calvin, Canadian champion.
Okay, that was just stupid.
There's two Canadians in, I don't know.
That's like the American Dodgeball Association of America.
Yes, I was hoping somebody would pick up on that.
Dodge,
dip,
dodge.
dodge.
Duck
That's
and
right,
dive.
baby.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. I'm sorry, they don't have a Hallmark card from where your coach just got crushed by 2 tons of irony.
That's one of my favorite lines in the whole movie.
Oh God! On the right, on my top today is the Coastal Crusader himself, Mr. Brian Atherton.
Damn it, I'm always
Greetings
on
and
the bottom.
salutations, my friends.
He does sound well rested today. Probably got more sleep last night than he's gotten in years.
Boy, it was not without its faults, but it was damn good sleep. And I can say they give you groovy drugs at the hospital.
I mean, he wasn't a patient. He just wanted some groovy.
No,
drugs.
he just walked
No,
in,
I can't
walked
do
into
that.
the cabinet.
Walked in and said,
No,
"Can I have
no,
some
I
dessert?"
can't. Don't say that, guys. My wife works there in that department.
Oh,
Don't
that is
say
true.
Oh, you made the mistake of going to the same hospital she works at. You should have gone somewhere else, dumbass.
Right.
The best part was telling them, "Hey, I got to get discharged. My wife's going to come in here in an hour."
She's got to come to work, man. Get me out of here.
And on
Glad
the
to see you
bottom
here, though.
is our resident masshole, Mr. Marky Pins. Mark, how
You know
doing,
it,
buddy?
boys. Good to be back. Sorry I missed the other day for the bowling talk, but right before we recorded, a whole bunch of people came into the bowling alley and wanted to bowl late night, and you don't say no.
Money. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So made some money, but sorry I missed out on the podcast, but I'll be back talking bowling next week.
You only missed Tim talking about himself. Nothing special.
Oh my God!
Just another one of those episodes. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I didn't miss anything.
I look. I am
I didn't miss
sorry.
anything.
I am sorry that I keep winning.
You're sorry.
My
what are you,
apologies.
Canadian now? What are you,
Winning.
Oh,
I'm like
Canadian now?
Charlie Sheen of this podcast.
Sorry.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are kind of like Charlie Sheen.
I
You're
am.
old, you wear some Hawaiian shirts, and you have some weird diseases we don't know about.
Timmy, you walked right into that
Oh
one
my
full
God.
steam, bro.
I
Full
did.
steam,
Yeah,
you
I
walked
did.
into that one.
I did. Oh my God! Hey, can I ask a question?
You can ask whatever you want.
Yeah,
Please
go ahead.
do.
It's Friday.
So, and this is kind of a weird question, but I got to ask anyway.
Perfect.
After
Why?
death, so when someone dies,
Okay.
Yes.
what is the only organ in the female body which remains warm?
The tongue.
My penis.
Oh God,
Oh.
Timmy.
Oh.
Wow.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching
That-
Ripping the Rack podcast.
I don't know if I think we're off YouTube now.
Definitely. Canadian, that was even too much for the Canadian of the group. He's out of here.
He's gone.
Oh,
He
God.
froze.
He's frozen. Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
Look,
no,
look
he's-
at him in the parlor.
It's done.
Look at him laughing his ass off. Tim, that was terrible. I gotta
It's
remember
done.
that. Wait, I gotta write that down. That was a good one.
What? It's recorded. You can listen
It's
to it
recorded,
again.
dude.
I'm gonna write it down even more.
Just listen to it.
Oh
Oh,
God. Happy Friday, everybody. So real quick, I want to talk about a TV show I've been watching.
Real quick, one more.
No,
Are we done?
not after
how-
that one. You lose
how-
joke privileges. You
how-
lose joke privileges now.
How is sex like air?
No, Timmy, no.
How is sex like air? It's not a big deal unless you aren't getting any.
Okay,
I think he
that's fair.
semi-redeemed himself with that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
That was
all
a
right, all
borderline
right.
dirty dad joke. You don't hear many of them, but
It
that,
really was. It really was.
yeah.
Was that-
So, anyways, the TV show I want to talk about, Timmy,
Lord.
if we can for a second, is
One hell.
what we do in the shadows on Hulu. It is an interesting, weird take on. It's like The Office or Parks and Rec, but with vampires. You guys are assholes.
I'm sorry, I can't stop.
Why are we? What? Why do we let him talk? How do we mute his mic? Let's mute his
I
mic.
can't.
No, we can't because
I'm
he starts the
I'm
call.
the host of the show.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Somebody else has to start the call next week. We can't let Tim start the call again.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
Jesus.
Oh, wait,
yeah,
hold on.
vampires-
Hold on, wait.
Okay, I'm not. I almost said this one.
Hold
I will
on,
say
wait.
this one off air.
No, you won't. Okay, I figured out how to mute Timmy. Okay, so getting back to what we're talking about. Oh, he found his way back.
Well,
He
yeah.
did.
I
He
can
did.
mute you.
Oh,
All
that's
right,
funny.
one more. Give you
People
leeway
proving
for
that they're smarter than Triple I.
What do you call a little boy with no arms and no legs?
Oh my God,
Bob?
I don't even want to know.
Names.
Oh, just names?
You're horrible. Tim.
Oh my God.
So, Brian, about the vampire show you were watching on Hulu.
Yeah, no, Kelly and I try to start like a different show, and this is what we do in the shadows, and it's very, very funny. It's dry as hell, so if you have dry humor, like you'll love it. And it's kind of like, so these vampires came from the old country, and they live in Staten Island, and they're trying to take over Staten Island. And
We
yeah,
lost
it's
him.
I know. They break the fourth wall out, like they talk directly to the camera, like interview style, like The Office. So it's
I
worth a
hate
watch.
that. I hate that. I hate
Really?
The
So you didn't
Office.
like The Office or
Yeah.
Parks and Rec or anything?
No, I hate
I was
it.
never a huge fan either, Cal, like of Office or shows like that. Like,
It's
No,
dry
not
humor.
really.
So if you have a
Yeah.
dry humor taste, you'll like it.
Yeah.
good
One
God.
thing I hate about TV shows, and I'm not going to spoil anything because some people are probably just starting to watch it because it just went on Netflix. But a show that gets canceled after they leave a cliffhanger in the final season, like the season finale, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
they cancel it.
Or-
Oh, it drives me. I hate it so much.
You're a big reality TV show guy, though, right? You like Big Brother and
Well, I like everything really for the most part,
okay.
except for The Office.
Timmy is a Survivor fan. Has been for
I
a
love
very long
Survivor.
time.
I love Survivor. That and Big Bang Theory are the only two shows that my wife and I have ever watched together religiously, meaning every week. That's it.
So then you're not watching anything. 'Cause
Yeah,
Big Bang
because-
Theory is done, and
No,
Survivor is
Big Bang
delayed
Theory is
because-
on every day.
well,
every
Oh,
day.
yes,
syndication,
it's
yeah.
canceled or it's done.
Yeah. I can't. No.
That
Yeah.
was my big disappointment. I didn't want that show to end, but Jim Parsons wanted it to end, and he was working on too many other things. So that was a shame.
That was a great show. I very much enjoyed Big Bang Theory. That and How I Met Your Mother,
Yeah.
which was great. And then Kelly and I were watching the finale, and like a quarter of the way in the finale, I go, "Yeah, I know what happens." And I told her, and she goes, "No." And then at the end of it, she's like, "How'd you do it?" And I'm like, "I just pictured the worst possible thing they could do, and yeah, it happened."
But see, and a lot of people didn't like that finale, but I did. Like it.
I
it
don't
basically-
mind what happened, or I don't mind the story with the mother. I didn't like the very end because it's like, just do that from the beginning then.
Yeah, but that's not that. But that's the whole point of the whole story, right? It starts out with them, and the story's about How I Met Your Mother, and then at the end, it's basically what he does with his life now, right? Like
Yeah. Okay.
it
yeah.
started and ended with her. So
Yeah.
why? What's the big deal, right?
Yeah.
You know.
I'll just nod and act like I know what you're talking about. I didn't watch the show.
No,
but, like,
I
didn't-
that
I didn't-
kinda makes
Marky,
sense.
do you watch
I didn't
any
either, Marky.
sitcoms or anything like that? Like TV shows? Like, are you a reality
really.
guy, sitcom guy?
Honestly, no. Most of my TV that I watch, I'm a big YouTube guy. I like going video to video. I have my channels that I watch. I watch very little cable TV. We haven't had cable in my house in probably more than 10 years. We've been doing the internet thing with YouTube, and then when Netflix and Hulu come out, I don't watch a lot of those. Melissa does. She watches a ton of different shows on, like, mostly Hulu. She likes to get, she gets her, especially now where she goes back and finds all the old original Maury Povich and Jerry Springer and all those.
So she likes daytime TV.
Oh, it drives me nuts. I come in the bedroom home late at night, you know what I mean? And like an old rerun of Jerry Springer's on TV and my head just explodes. I'm like, I can't watch this.
So
Jerry.
So
oh, God.
my wife is a big fan of like Judge Judy, Judge Joe Brown, all of those shows, and then you throw in the Jerry Springer and the Maury Povich and
She should watch 1997 WWE. She'd love the Attitude Era.
It's not
That's
that
what
much
she likes.
different. It's really not that
Yeah,
much different.
it's not much different, no.
They even got a bell on Jerry Springer after a while when the people were catfighting and yelling, then ding, 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 and then they let him fight for 30 seconds. Like, all they needed was a ref. Like, Steve Wilkos just needed a ref shirt to just let people
and now
pin
he's
each
a
other.
now he's a judge on a TV show.
Steve's a judge?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Bill
I knew he got his
Blaine
own
had a judge
show
show.
after a while. Like, there was the Steve Wilkos show.
Yeah. Steve
Which
had
was
his
a
own
little
show.
less crazy than like Maury or Judge Judy. No, I'm sorry, Jerry Springer.
But I will say this: I'm
What's
not
he
a huge
on?
Jerry Springer.
Hey,
I'm not a huge.
Hey, don't. What's he a judge on?
I don't.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hey, Ange. The Steve Wilco, the guy from, he's got a show, right? Doesn't he have a judge show? Like Judge Judy type show?
Oh, I thought he was a judge, like on a reality TV.
No.
My wife just informed me that he has a talk show.
Yeah, he has a talk show.
I thought he had a Judge Steve type show.
No, he's a retired police officer.
Jerry Springer is a judge.
Jerry Springer is now a judge?
Has his like Judge Jerry.
Well, Mills Lane was a judge too, Judge Mills Lane for a while.
That's true. Remember that? I remember that.
The best Jerry Springers are always the results are in.
No.
That was
not Jerry. That's
or is that Maury? Oh my God.
And there were two types of dudes on that show. There were
Hold on. This is recorded. Honey, I humbly apologize for being wrong.
You were wrong. I was right.
Did you guys hear that?
We all heard that. That's live on video. That's
we all know.
deleted.
Yeah.
YouTube video will be out tomorrow.
But I will say
the dads on Maury.
Because of like Maury and that, I honestly will never forget my grandmother's last words. She's like, "What are you doing in here with that hammer?"
Oh God!
He got it in again. He got another one in. Oh my God!
Permanently mute Tim.
One of those.
You can. All you can do
it's
is
one of those hammers for those little dinky trucks. You know, you got to put those together. They're little tiny hammers.
The little rock hammer.
That's right.
Hey, you can dig out a Shawshank with one of those.
Yes, you can. Okay, so I'm sorry. That was Maury that had the results.
Yes. Maury was always the DNA.
And the dad was either head in his hands or doing jumping jacks, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are the guys.
Calvin,
I told you.
Calvin, we keep you awake, buddy.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Been a long week without your wife there?
Yes, it has.
So what else do you want to talk about? Is that it? We done? Show over?
No, we're not done.
No,
Yeah,
God, no.
Or, where did we go? 15 minutes? That's good enough.
I don't even think.
We could talk curling.
Bedroom. It's long enough for a
Oh,
podcast.
can we talk some more curling? That would be fantastical.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't.
Hey, by the way, friends are like trees. They fall over if you hit them with an axe.
Oh shit.
This joke brought to you by dadjokes.com.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I heard a good one this morning too. I told Melissa and she told me to go back to bed. I don't remember what the hell it was. But yeah,
Brian,
Brian. So
just-
we're going to talk about some
Brian,
curling
just
here.
mute Tim for like 2 minutes, and then you can say whatever you want to say.
Apparently, no, it's fine. Go ahead.
No,
Tim.
go
What do
ahead,
you
Brian.
wanna
Go
talk
ahead.
about curling? No,
No,
you
go
want to talk
ahead.
about curling? Go ahead.
No, I wasn't talking about curling.
No, God,
No
no,
shit.
he wasn't. You were about to say something.
I was,
I
but
just-
I moved
so-
it, and I will say this: if I say any more jokes, I will not make any religious jokes, and I will try not to make any really bad, inappropriate sexual humor jokes.
Anymore. After the first one we had today.
After the first one,
I mean, you should have saved that one till the end, like the first one.
I should have, but I couldn't.
It was too much shock value, so everything else after that's like, well, that's not as bad as the first one. You should have saved that till the end, because we already lost every viewer on YouTube that clicked on this video.
Let me ask you a quick question before we get into curling, and this is not a joke. This really is
Okay.
not a joke.
This is not a game.
From a comedian standpoint.
You're not good. Moving along.
Look,
I'm go on tour.
I'm not going on tour. But who would you say right now?
That's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Who do you think right now is the most? I'm not gonna say offensive comedian,
Dave
but who
Chappelle.
do you think Chappelle?
Yeah.
Or would you say Jimmy Carr?
No, because
who's-
things that Jimmy Carr says people in England don't find offensive. But everyone finds some of the things that Dave Chappelle says offensive. Just go back and watch a couple of his new stand-ups.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen his new stand-up.
He does not care if you.
No.
It's fantastic.
And that's what I like.
Fantastic.
Honestly, like some people are going to be offended, some aren't. Are there things everybody should be offended about? Yeah, but you know what? Dark humor is a hell of a crutch when you got fucking problems. And if you can laugh at it instead of be offended by it, it'll make you happier sometimes.
I have the opinion of if you walk into a comedy show, I don't care if it's 1996 or if it's 2021, you walk into a comedy show where you know it's going to be a stand-up comedy set, you are walking in risking being offended.
Mm-hmm.
And if you walk out of there all pissy and everything else, then you are the dumbass that walked into the comedy show. You're supposed to leave those things behind outside.
What they're going to talk about.
Like do what we used to do about a lot of these things that are deemed wholly offensive. Now, we used to just look at each other and laugh them off, and they were jokes, and nobody took the jokes seriously because they were jokes. We just spent a night and laughed, especially when we made a point, bought tickets to walk into a comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
That's being lost nowadays.
I could spend. So I love going to live shows, music, comedy, whatever.
Absolutely.
If I never could go to another live music show, that I could only go to live comedy, I'd be there every night.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go to comedy all day.
I was
Yeah.
lucky enough my freshman year of high school, my freshman year of college, I got to go to the State Theater in Portland and see Stephen Lynch open for Mitch Hedberg. And it
Oh my
was
God, that must have been gold.
amazing. I mean, Mitch Hedberg was very, very wasted, but still funny as hell.
Right.
And Stephen Lynch got done with his set. Whoa, I heard something there. I heard myself again. No, he gets done with his set and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Lynch," and he puts his guitar down, he gets down, jumps off the stage and sits in the front row and has a beer. And like watches Mitch Hedberg's whole set from the front row.
Calvin, you were going to say something just a second ago.
Yeah, I went to crap. I can't think of his name right now. Ventriloquist. Jeff Dunham.
Yep.
Yeah, and I never stopped laughing from start to finish.
Yep.
So his
Hilarious.
show that is not taped is actually very
The
dark.
R-rated show.
The
Oh, yeah.
R-rated show is tremendous.
Oh yeah. But even so, he's like, and it's funny because he can get away with the humor that he does because, you know, like he does it with
He does it with the dummy.
Ahmed.
yeah, with Ahmed, yeah.
Silence.
Talks about how, like, you know, he's like, yeah, he's like, oh, we're terrorist bombers, and, you know, and he does all this stuff, and he talks with the old guy, Walter. Geez, you guys are better. I'm too tired for this crap. He talks with Walter, and like he makes fun of people and calls them dumbasses, and he can get away with that because it's
Then he's
like
got
it's the
Jose
dummy that's doing it, not him.
Jose
Right.
Jalapeno on a steak.
Right,
On a
Jose
steak.
Jalapeno.
Everything's on a
He's
steak.
he's an immigrant. Like
Yeah.
he's an immigrant from Mexico. Like he can get away with that stuff because it's a dummy that's saying it.
But the whole point of it is that we could take those stereotypes and not just freak out and go. We could take them and just laugh, because it's not serious. It's not somebody calling you the words. Again, they're not bad words unless you use them with bad intent. You go into a comedy show and people are just having fun and laughing. Just take the joke and move on.
Yeah.
It's being lost.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's being lost.
I think that you should take a teenager today in high school and you want to show them a culture shock. You put on Netflix, you show them Chappelle's Show and be like, this was 20 years ago. Watch this episode.
Yeah.
Forget it. They couldn't. They'd freak out. They'd be on Twitter in 3.5 minutes and it would be a shit. No, you can't do that nowadays. The sensitivity is just through the roof. Through the roof.
And the only reason I brought that up is just for some reason I went down the YouTube rabbit hole last night when I went to bed. Like most nights, I will grab my phone, I'll throw my headphones in, and I'll get on YouTube and I'll just start scrolling. And I may listen to music, I may listen to stand-up, I may whatever. And I went on the Jimmy Carr about 30-minute. And if you don't know who Jimmy Carr is,
I don't. I'm actually Googling him right now.
Google Jimmy Carr. He is.
Oh, that guy. Oh my God, this guy's hilarious.
Yes. You need to watch.
He'll tell you to fuck off. Like, he's great on stage.
Oh my God,
he's funny as hell.
Yes. Funny as hell. So I went down this whole rabbit hole of him responding to hecklers.
Yes.
And then I went down another rabbit hole of other, improv responding to hecklers.
Have you heard or seen, speaking of comedy, anything about the new Bo Burnham Netflix special? It is supposed to be amazing, but you have to go into it like this is his tell-all about having depression during the pandemic and having to quarantine and how he takes his dark humor and copes with it. So it's heavy, but it's hilarious and genius from what I've heard. I gotta watch it, but
I will tell you. And Brian,
and I like Bo Burnham anyways. He's musical and just real quick, like he's musical, he's funny, but he is just it's dark and it's dry.
And Brian can tell you that my humor from our times in the truck, just driving to bowling tournaments and going places, doing things. My humor ranges everything from very clean, like Bill Cosby was clean humor.
Yes.
Well, his stand-up was clean
in the
humor.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
before time in the long ago.
One of the
His
first
other
I was ever
activity
exposed to in my life was Bill Cosby himself, and that was absolutely hilarious. And he literally only swore once.
Yeah.
And all he said was asshole. But it was it would still stand up to this day as being hilarious.
Yes. So when you take that and then go to Jimmy Carr, or you go to Eddie Murphy, or you listen to George Carlin, or any of the in between, and Lisa Lampanelli and all of these other
that woman, Jesus Christ,
the original kings of comedy. If you can go back into like the early 2000s and find that either like to watch, it's Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Bernie Mac, and D.L. Hughley, and it is top to bottom some of the funniest shit you'll ever hear.
So I will tell you, I got all of my dark humor that started basically in my high school years. And it honestly started because I was bullied, tremendously bullied from the time I was about 12 years old until just about halfway through my senior year in high school. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm kind of short. I know it's a shock. I know I'm going to surprise you right now.
I thought it was because they called you Megadong and everybody was like jealous of you.
Yeah.
Well, that
was the rumor that permeated down here in Massachusetts. Apparently that was wrong. I don't know.
Well, I think they called me more Mega Dick because of my attitude.
Oh, maybe that was what it was. I must have misheard them.
Yeah, you misheard.
You were being a Megadong.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All
right. Dong, not Don.
I had that just getting bullied, insanely bullied for years and years and years, and went into a deep, a really not a deep depression, but basically a big depression. And another friend of mine that I shouldn't say friend, an acquaintance that I was friendly with, had killed himself back when we were in high school.
Oh shit.
And so I ended up really using humor. I learned how to use humor to get me through a lot of tough shit. So my humor is very dark. Like, I will laugh at just about anything.
Well, it beats the way I look at it is on the same way. It beats the alternative.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So, at some point we'll go down a whole rabbit hole of mental
we'll have a
health
very,
and
as they had in the 90s, we'll have a very special episode of Ripping the Rack one day.
We
very
will.
Special episode.
A very special episode because, again, mental health is
very important.
It is. It's actually probably more important than what people realize when it comes to your body, your mindset, and everything else.
And I'm with Tim. We have a platform to share some shit on, so we should.
Yeah,
Agreed.
We should.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Coming soon, a very special Ripping the Rack podcast.
A very special
Ripping
the Rack.
Special Ripping the Rack podcast.
Well, they always used to have like the very special Punky Brewster where she tried alcohol for the first time, or remember the very special Saved by the Bell with the caffeine pills.
A very special 90210.
Yeah, with the draw, or remember the very special, was it Webster, where the bike shop guy tried to do bad things with them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. That was
that's what they used to have. They were on in the afternoons. They were very special episodes because they were on during like when kids were eating dinner and stuff, so you could sit down as a family and watch them. And our parents told us how marijuana would never get us anywhere, and it's horrible. And now they use it. Some people use it. Half them sell it.
True.
I would never do that marijuana thing.
Never smoke
marijuana is bad.
Fuck you guys. I love it. I don't care what you say.
Drugs bad. Okay.
Especially when they make your feet perpendicular.
That's true.
Drugs are bad.
And we're getting back into like the comedy and stuff, and it's kind of our generation, at least me, Marky, Calvin. You might be a little young for this, but I don't know when you started watching South Park. South Park was kind of our first, like our generation's kind of FU to the standards.
Basically,
right, Marky?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be The Simpsons though?
Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, Beavis and Butthead actually was before.
Butthead, I think, would have been first in that regard.
That's
but even
true.
then,
But they didn't tackle any like pop culture issues. Like basically, South Park, Trey Parker and Matt Stone basically went, "What's in the news this week?" Yeah, we're gonna parody
about
the
South
shit
Park.
out of
Yes,
that.
they did.
Yeah.
They did.
And Beavis and Butthead was more just like
just a couple
outrageous
idiots who were high all the time.
And I loved it. It was funny because it was so. It was the animation was different than anything you'd seen before.
Yeah,
it was rough. It was hand drawn. It was just different.
But it added to the flavor of the show because the flavor was rough, and you could tell it wasn't polished and everything else. It was designed to be the way kids usually talk to each other. Even if you're 12, we were swearing to each other. When we came home, we didn't swear in front of mom because they kick our ass.
But you know what else is rough, though? A curling stone on the sides. Right, Calvin? Are those rough, or is that...
No, I think they're smooth.
Or is that smooth?
That was terrible.
Tim, that was a very bad segue. So, guys, we're going to talk curling now.
So, let's talk curling.
I was just wondering if you were going to make it with that pen because you were just sensually rubbing it along your lips and you were just getting that. I thought you were going to just take that right to town.
Just kind of start tongue in the side.
No, every once in a while I
YouTube again.
Every once no, because I gotta trim the mustache and it's bugging the crap out of me. But it feels kind of good to rub it through the mustache. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Life lessons from Ripping the Rack podcast.
Sensual massage.
You know what? I'm gonna have a Mike and Ike while we talk curling.
Okay.
You
do
should.
have a
They're the
Mike
best
and Ike.
candies in existence.
I
Fight
love
me.
Mike
I
and
dare
Ike.
you.
No.
I love
Listen,
Mike and
you
Ike.
shut your face.
Listen,
Mike
guys. All
berries
right,
are
what's better than a
fine.
Mike and Ike? What's better than a handful of Mike and Ikes? You tell me.
For one,
Wild berry
my
Skittles.
Swedish berries,
Swedish fish.
Swedish fish, Swedish berries, either or.
What are Swedish
better.
berries? Are
They're
they
like
like berries up
fish,
north, but they're fish
they're
here?
different. Yeah, they're different flavors.
Wait a minute, we're about to get a demonstration.
So I bet they're like the fruit slices that we have or something like that.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Swedish berries.
Oh, so it's a
okay, so
Swedish
they're
Oh.
fish.
fish,
It's a-
but in a berry.
All right,
In a
so it's the
berry.
same thing. Down here, you can't
Oh.
find that. They're all just fish. They're in the
yeah,
fish
that must
shape.
be it must be a Canadian thing.
It
'Cause
has
they're
to
all
be.
we have
fish.
Swedish fish too.
They're fish. I've
But
never
they're
seen the
imported.
berries like that. I love, okay, I gotta say this one time just because we're talking about it. I love when we go up north. One of my favorite things to do is to walk into a Sobeys, which is like the grocery store,
And just, see
and
all the
just
different
walk down the
chips.
candy aisle.
Oh.
Not so much the chips. Melissa goes to the chips aisle
I
because
do
she likes
too.
the dill pickle and the ketchup chips. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I go
don't
down
get
the
the
candy
fat-
aisle.
Bacon.
I go down the candy aisle and I'm grabbing bags of caramels and coffee crisps and everything that
God.
we don't get down here. They're just so much better.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
So you guys have such a candy advantage on us. It's not even funny.
I know, it's the best.
It is the best, dude. I come back with
Yeah.
bags. I've been
That's
searching
because-
duty.
St. Stephen is like the chocolate capital of Canada.
Is it really? I didn't know
The
that.
Oh,
choc-
yeah.
It's like the chocolate capital of the world.
They do a lot
Well,
of chocolate.
That'd be
in St.
Switzerland.
If you go through like the Milltown border crossing and you go to like into St. Stephen and down, like there's a big ass chocolate factory right there.
Yeah, I never go that way. I hate going Route 9. I hate crossing there. I don't like it. I always just cross at Holton. It's so much easier to just do like 130 on 95 from Bangor
Yep.
straight to Holton.
So
9
you go
scares
through-
the shit out of me, man.
Brian doesn't like that. That
I go
way.
through now. I've driven through the border multiple times. I don't
Up
like
in
going to
Holton?
Holton
No,
because
up
there's
in
a
Holton.
very large man in there that has big hands that he said he was going to search in our vehicle, on our persons, and inside of us.
They can't touch you.
You gotta
Unless
Oh
they
stay
have
ahead.
well,
probable cause.
no. He
Unless they have
said,
probable cause, they cannot touch
well, he kind of did have probable
Yeah,
cause.
they had some probable cause.
you. All right.
So,
Yeah,
long
like
story
here,
short,
I-
before
yeah.
we get into curling, so during
Yeah.
the Worlds in
The first year was in Fredericton, 2015.
2015, we stopped at the duty free, and we were caravanning up. So it was Angie and I in our car.
We're
Uh,
on 9 or on
no,
95?
No,
Going
on
to Holton.
95.
Going
It
to
was me,
Okay.
Doug, Chris, and my dad in a van. No. Yeah,
No.
and then it was Brian Purdy and Jeff Lapierre in front of us.
So Angie and I are behind
Chip.
everyone. Nope, we didn't have Chip at the time. Chip and Evan were together, whatever. So we were last at the duty free, waiting to cash in some money and exchange and do all that. So these guys, because we're all caravanning together, they waited
On
which
the
is
on-ramp.
cool. But they waited on the on ramp. They like pulled over on the on ramp and just sat there.
For like
That's
5
not cool.
minutes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We
That's
found
not
out.
cool.
so Evan says, Chip, why don't you go with Tim and Angie? Because let's face it, they're going to have an easier time getting across the border. And Chip has had obviously a rough past that we weren't sure if he was going to make it across. So we go by everyone, and people are just filtering out on the American side, and they're setting up a checkpoint, and we pull up and they say, we hand them our pass cards and passports, and they're, where are
we
you
didn't
going?
get to the American side or the Canadian side. like
Not
we
yet.
normally
No, this
do.
was the American side still. And
Yeah,
well,
but you don't-
and in my head, I'm like, well, this is new that it's on the American side. Well, whatever. So we tell them we're going to a bowling tournament, going to Fredericton, blah, blah, blah. So they say, yep, you're all set. So we then go up to the Canadian side, and they're all looking out, seeing what's going on. And I hand them, they're like, yeah, where are you going? Okay. Yeah, you guys are all set. And I was like, look, I'm waiting for a bunch of guys that are just coming down now. Can I pull over up here and just wait for them? And they were like, yeah, just go up there and just pull over to the side of the road, just get away. Come to find out, the American side had like automatic
Dogs.
weapons, dogs, and everything, because
For us.
these fools were sitting on the on-ramp, had pulled over on the on-ramp
for a
and
little too much longer than they liked.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it was bad.
That's when the guy, we
Jesus.
get out, he goes, everybody out, hands up. And we're like, so we're out of the vehicles. He's like, we have reason to believe you guys are playing some bad stuff. This is United States Border Patrol. You don't have any rights right now. I own you. I can search on you, in you, or in your persons. And I'm going, he has giant hands. No, sir. He's like, do you have any drugs with you? I'm like, I have Tylenol in my bowling bag.
Yep.
Yep. Tylenol.
I would have told him my blood type at that point if he'd asked.
No shit.
This dude was the
Wow.
size of the mountain. He made Brian Purdy look little.
So of course, Angie, Chip, and I, we're just sitting there waiting, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, the hell? So finally, Evan pulls up behind us because I think he was just behind us, and they let him through. And he's like, I don't know what's going on, but these guys are all getting pulled over and getting searched on the American side. I'm like, on the American side?
Yeah.
Like, I've been going through the border almost 30 years. I have never heard of this.
Right.
So it was about 15 minutes or so when these guys finally pulled up and they saw us and pulled over, and we're like, what happened? What's going on? And they kind of explained the situation. I started laughing and said, I'll see you guys at the hotel. And
my dad laughs about a lot of stuff. He was like, just get in the car. Like, Dad was just like, just get in the car.
Yeah, Dad didn't find that funny.
No.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the one time I had to go through the St. Stephen border was because, and I can't remember, this was a couple of years ago now when we were going to Can-Ams, and I can't remember what the result was. I don't remember if they were just scared or if they actually had done something. But there was two guys from Halifax, and they had literally stopped at the border and would not move. They blocked traffic, and they would not get out of their car. They would not move. They sat there for like, it was a half an hour or something like that. And then they had to close down the whole border because they didn't know what was going on. They wouldn't get out of their vehicle. They wouldn't do anything.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. I couldn't remember. I can't remember what the result was. I don't know if they didn't know what to do, or if they'd actually committed a crime and didn't know how they were going to get across or something. I can't remember what it was, but they literally sat there. So they closed the border down, and the border was closed for like 3 hours. So we had to go the other way instead of going through Holton.
They sent you all the way back up to Holton?
No, it was at Holton. We had to go to St. Stephen.
Oh, so they sent you all the way down to St. Stephen's. Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's another hour ride down that way, isn't it?
At least.
Hour.
That's
Hour and a
another
half.
I've never
3
done
hours.
that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a long way down.
It's you have to go back to Fredericton and then go to St. John to get to St. Stephen.
Yeah.
It's like an extra 3 hour drive.
Oh, Mingia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
was
long
brutal.
way.
Yeah.
The last border story, and it actually came up on my memories either today or yesterday, I can't remember. The eventful crossing from the Can-Am that I had with Brian, Kelly, and Ray coming back across the border to the American side. So Kelly was driving, Brian was in the front. I was behind Kelly, and Ray was behind Brian. And we're coming back from the bowling tournament. We come into to the American side and hand our passports and pass cards over. The guy says, where you been? Bowling tournament. He said, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
At a bowling tournament. So it went on for about 5 minutes, like questioning, like, what bowling tournament? Where were you? Where'd you stay? All of this. We're like,
so then he had some real winning questions.
So finally, yeah, but the winning questions came after this. So when because my window's down, I said, would you like to see our bowling bags?
Yeah.
Guy doesn't like that, by the way. Just so you know.
No.
Don't
not
question
direct
these
him
guys.
on what to do.
No.
So Kelly pops the trunk, Guy
They're
walks
pretty
in,
high and mighty.
opens it up, unzips the
Started
first bag, and
slamming stuff.
sees bowling balls. And now he's pissed because we're at a bowling
He was
tournament.
wrong. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So he shuts the trunk, comes around.
Bowling balls. Yep.
Yeah.
They're kind of important when you're at a bowling tournament.
Yeah.
Like, it's
So
important.
he comes back, looks at Kelly, and says, "Do you know this man in the passenger seat?" Kelly actually laughs.
They've done that to Melissa before when her and I used to cross. We'd be in the car together. They look at Melissa. I'm driving. They look at her and go, "Do you know this man, or are you being taken against your will?"
Yep. And she laughs and she goes, "Well, we're married, so yes."
And he goes, "Oh, this weekend?" Kelly's like, "No, a few months
No.
ago, actually."
Wait, he asked you if you got married
Yes.
this weekend?
Yeah.
Like you were kidnapping a Canadian woman to bring her home? Are you shitting me?
So he
The
then
next
Such
question
a
is my
stupid
favorite.
question.
the next question, he looks at
That's
Brian.
so dumb.
He looks
No,
at Brian.
this
And he
is this is
says,
better.
he goes, "Excuse me, sir. How long have you known these gentlemen in the back seat?"
This was my response. I go, "That's my friend Tim. I've known him about 10 years. That's my dad. So I'm going to go roughly about, I'm 32, so roughly about 32 and a half years, depending on the month." He did not like that answer.
It was the most bizarre crossing.
He was like having a bad day or something. He was just.
I have never had a bad crossing coming back, like to the American side. It's usually pretty where you been?
Like when Tim said that thing about, "Do you want to see our bowling bags?" He's like, "I can make you get out of the car."
And I just looked at it, I said, "Okay." Like, I don't know what you want, dude. Like
They don't like it when you're smart with them.
Like, I really don't know what you want. Like, how about, hey, how'd you do in the bowling tournament?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, welcome back. You know, are you bringing any shit across? No.
Yeah.
Open up the trunk, look through. Guys,
Most
have a
of them
great
were
day.
just, most of them were like, "Where you been? How long were you
If they're
there?
trying
You
to
bringing
trip
any
you
money?"
up, like if you're giving a reason like, "Oh, I was at a bowling tournament all weekend." If I'm the board, I'm going to ask you questions about the tournament to see if I can trip you up to see if that's a lie, because that's probably not one he hears every day. And
Right.
I
Like,
can
oh,
get that.
Yeah.
But
Did you win?
I would
much did
mess
you
with the
win?
guy.
Like-
You know, what kind of tournament was it? What kind of bowling do you do? You know, this, that, or the other. You know, what was the name of the place? If I can find out, and then I'm Googling the bowling. You know what I mean? Like, just start asking a bunch of different questions, see if you can trip the guy up. If you're answering split-second answers, they're probably not scripted, and they're probably trained that they can look at people and tell if they're lying or not, too.
Yeah, it was real.
And the other funny thing is, real quick, Tim, the other funny thing is, like, we've gone over the border for the Worlds, and they're like, "Where are you going?" Bowling tournament. Like, "Wasn't that last weekend?" I'm like, "No, that was the Can-Am. Now we're going up there."
Right.
Yeah. Like the St.
Because they
Stephen
can
border
see
people. Yeah, they'll
they
be like,
see
"Wasn't
your
that last
record the
weekend?"
minute they swipe your card or scan your passport or something when the last time you crossed was.
And and I've actually had it. So they were like I was coming across, and they coming back, and the guy's like, "Where you been?" And I was like, "Halifax," and he chuckles. He goes, "Let me guess, bowling tournament."
Yeah.
And I laughed, and I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Where do you live?" And I said, "Rockland." And he goes, "What team are you bowling on?" And I told him, and he goes, "Oh, is that Charlie Mylan's team?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yes, it is." And he laughs. He goes, "Yeah, Charlie just came through here like an hour ago." He goes, "I actually know him. I grew up in Bangor." It was just really weird.
Yeah.
It was like I've had.
Well,
some
the
good
minute
ones,
he
but-
says that, you're getting through, no problem.
God,
So
yeah.
just keep the conversation nice and pleasant.
Oh,
When
yeah.
we go over
And you'll
to
make your way
when
through.
we go to
Keep it
Campbell
about
Island. Yeah. We go over to Campbell Island. Of course, Kelly's mom's from there. She grew up. So we go over the border, and she's like, "Hi, Louise. How's your mom?" Like, she knows the border people's moms. So it's just like, "Yeah, Liz, go ahead. Just go."
Yep.
"Don't tell my mom I was mean to you. Just go."
So anyway, curling.
And that's our show.
Yes, and thank you for watching.
I was gonna say,
Do we want to jump into curling, or do we want to save that till like next week or something?
We don't really have that. Like, I mean, we're running up against it, right? We're about an hour.
Well, we're 45 minutes right now.
We can do
We
what?
can't have a curling discussion
No.
in 15 minutes. We need it. We need more episode of that. What we need coming soon someday, we need Ripping the Rack to actually be in a curling rink, and we need to try it. We need to do it together for the laughs of it. We need to do it. I have never done it.
Calvin, can you get
for
us,
my own? I need
Can
to
you get
do
us
it.
into a rink or whatever they call it?
To do
Yeah,
curling? Like, do they have stones and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we got
Is,
it.
is it a public
They
thing
all have
up there?
it's
Or?
curling clubs. Club
Okay.
is what they call it. It's a curling club.
Okay. But you could get us in sometime the next time we can actually get across the border?
Yeah, because we have one in Belfast, but we can't get into it.
Same thing. There's one about a half hour away
No.
from where I
Like,
live.
you have to
and-
be, like, it's a secret handshake place, man. It's one of those clubs.
Exactly. Yes, it's one of. That's how it is down here. Like, you can't just walk in, and just like a bowling alley, you walk in and get a lane and go. These places are all like, right, you need to know the secret handshake. You need to have done the blood brother thing, leave a DNA sample and all that stuff. And you're not allowed to just walk in and play. And that's the shitty part. I want to walk in and play one of these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep talking about it. We need, we need to do
jump
it.
on. We'll jump on the curling train here. Maybe, next week or the week after or something like that. And then we will have an outing the next time we're in Canadian land.
Yeah.
I miss Canadian land. I miss Canada.
Poutine.
I miss real good, real poutine. Not rapé, but I miss poutine. I miss poutine so bad. I live with a French.
Poutine.
Oh, so the buffalo chicken poutine at St. Louis is amazing.
So I must be in the minority. I'm not a fan of poutine.
No,
my
I hate
wife's
poutine.
not. My wife hates gravy. Like, she doesn't like at Thanksgiving. Like, she doesn't do the brown gravy thing.
Well, no, I mean, I'll put gravy on my potato and stuff, but I don't want it on my French fries.
Not her.
No,
Why?
really?
You realize
so
that
good.
all mashed up French fries are is mashed potato, right?
I know.
So you put it on what? So you don't
It's
like it
not
on that
cooked the
form
same.
of potato.
Right, it's not cooked the same.
You're one of those weirdos that think zebra cakes and Christmas tree cakes are the same, aren't you? Because they're not. Christmas tree cakes are way better.
I'm a fan of zebra cakes and Christmas tree cakes.
But they're
Obviously,
not the
have
same.
you seen me?
Calvin,
No,
did you say a minute ago that you're not a fan of poutine?
No, I don't like poutine.
What's it about?
I'm not a
Is
big,
it the-
I'm not a
is it the
big French
curd?
fry fan.
French fries.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that. A lot of people. It's the kind of cheese they put on it. It's either the cheese curd for the true original, or
Oh yeah,
like
if you're gonna do it, you gotta do curd.
You can't
gotta
do
do
the shredded mozzarella stuff. That doesn't.
You gotta do
I've
curd.
tried it. I like the mozzarella better personally, but I've had the curd just to have
I
the
love the
authentic
curds.
experience of it. But it's so good.
Yeah, if you're
Again,
getting poutine, you gotta get curd.
What?
If you're getting poutine, you have to get curds.
Yeah. My wife is a very French Canadian woman, her whole family, and I've been yelled at for liking it better with mozzarella. I was told it's cheese curds or it's nothing.
That's because you're Italian, buddy.
I
You
know,
like
that's the
everything with
problem.
mozzarella.
Both our names end in a vowel, but from completely different sides of the planet, where one is acceptable and one is not. Hence, that's where the fight started. Like, constantly.
And that's when the fight started.
That's when the fight started. We had Poutine, and that's when the fight started.
Well, in that case, we're gonna wrap it up tonight.
Sure.
So
All
this
right,
one
good
went
show.
off. This one went off the rails pretty damn quick. You guys are welcome for that.
We
was a
we
good
got back
episode,
on the
though.
rails after the first 5
Yeah.
minutes of
Yeah.
Tim's awful
that first
joke.
joke.
Him,
Oh,
penis.
That was a
It was
weird
great.
way
An
to start
awful
the show,
joke.
but I
That
think
wasn't
we
an
recovered
awful
well.
joke.
No, it was a great joke, but it was weird to. That was just a weird time to hit it. Like that was.
That's
Oh,
the
hey,
best.
it was
That's
a-
the best time.
It was a
Bowling
good
real
fucking
quick.
joke, though. It was.
This
but at the
weekend,
same-
it's not Candlepin, so I can talk about it. This weekend, the PBA boys are in Portland. They're at Bayside.
Oh, I know. I wish I was
Yeah,
there.
and I
It's
saw.
true.
I tried to get tickets and they were
saw
sold.
the Danielle McEwen.
Yep, with
Yeah,
Sparwood.
she did
Yeah.
Candlepin.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was
I think
bowling. She
Spark
was bowling
was
over at Westport.
They always take them over to Westport. Is that nearby?
Yeah, well, it's
Wow.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
It's not too far.
It's in Westbrook versus Portland.
it's better than
Yeah, they
taking.
always take them to
Never
full
mind.
Candlepin. Funny.
Mhm. It was
So-
funny watching guys like Wes Malott and Belmonte try to two-handed.
Yeah.
Wes
Candlepin
Malott
ball.
was pretty good though. He had a
Wes
hundred.
Malott figured it out real good.
Yeah.
The problem was I think it was it Jason? Was it Spoxy that brought him
Yeah.
over there?
Oh,
He
yeah.
had him using house balls. And house balls, we all know, are a little smaller
Very,
and sometimes
yeah.
they're a little lighter. Like, they should have at least given him a set of 2.7s and let him see what they could do with it.
But
Kinda
Malott
threw-
figured it out pretty quick. He
did.
figured out the rotation he needed to put on it. Belmo just, the two-handed thing doesn't work.
It does not
No,
work in
not that.
Candlepin. It just doesn't work. It does not work.
Unless it's Granny.
Yeah, but that's the creeping Jesus. I call that the creeping Jesus ball.
Creeping Jesus.
She just walks up 2 or 3 and then
Is that like the lowercase?
that's
Is
how
that like the
Colin bowls right
lowercase
now.
t?
no, it's not.
We'll stop.
It's not.
Yeah, we'll stop there.
We'll stop there.
Tim, where can they direct complaints?
That's a great segue. Yes.
By the way, I have raccoons in my yard. My wife posted pictures on Facebook. I got a bunch of raccoons that I gotta get rid of. They're all over the damn place.
I don't know how you get rid of
You're
raccoons,
supposed
man. I
to
grew up
not
in the
hang.
projects
You
near
gotta
Boston.
go
We didn't
out
have
every
raccoons.
night and take all your feeders down. Because first it's raccoons, then you're gonna get bears, Tim. Bears.
I'm okay
You
with
guys
bears.
love bears.
Bears are cool.
Don't you guys who live up in like the woods of like mainland, don't you guys all have like BB guns and shit that you can shoot them with?
You can't.
I don't know.
Here's
Is that
the thing.
what happens?
Here's the thing.
Okay,
I'm in.
so
I
Timmy
I'm
and I
within the
do
city
not
limits.
live in the woods. No, we
What?
don't live in the woods. Timmy and I don't. Like
Oh.
we're more like smaller.
Well, I kind of live in the woods, but it's
Kind
within
of.
this. But it's within the city limits
But
of
you also
Rockland.
live like within 100 feet of a lake. So
See, to me, if I could see a lake and I could see more than 5 trees in any of my field of view, I'm in the woods.
Okay, well then I'm
Compared to
definitely
where the
in
hell
the
I
woods.
grew
Then I'm
up,
definitely in the
that's-
woods.
that's the
welcome
friggin'
to Maine.
woods. Yeah, exactly. To me, the Maine is the woods and 95 that goes through the middle of it.
Yeah. So I've got a bunch of
That's a mass hole
raccoons, little trash pandas. They're cute.
Trash pandas.
Or
I
trash
wanna pet
bandits or whatever you want to
No,
call them.
put a little like water
You know
bowl
what?
dish out there, but put some
They're
Jack
a
Daniels
lot
in it
like
and have a
me.
show out of it. I don't know.
Well, they're
Yeah.
a lot like me. They're mostly nocturnal. They eat junk food. They have dark circles under their eyes. They're chubby and they'll scream at you. So they're a lot like Brian.
So anyway,
when you
you
put it
can
like that.
you can direct all of your comments, questions, concerns to Ripping the Rack Podcast at gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ripping the Rack Podcast. You can find Brian's OnlyFans on OnlyFans.
Nowhere.
Oh, Brian, cut it out. You know it's on OnlyFans. But we are not on
Only.
OnlyFans.
No, we're not on OnlyFans yet. No, we're not.
Brian, where else can they find us?
Hey, they can find us and they can give their eardrums a massage every Friday morning and Tuesday morning on Spotify, Anchor Breaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and wherever else you listen to your podcast mediums.
And do not forget Sunday evenings, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/dash or whatever it is, Johnny
Slash.
Death Drop / Johnny Death Drop. You can see the Coastal Crusader himself and the resident masshole himself on twitch.tv as they discuss Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling and other forms of wrestling, I think. Other mediums.
We got
I
to
guess.
watch
Yep.
along this Friday, this Sunday of the big Rocky Mountain show that happened a couple weeks ago, leading up to Milestone, which is next week, and Marky's getting in the ring, folks.
That's right.
I was called out and challenged by the charged champion himself, their second champion, not the heavyweight champion, but the next guy.
They're
And
IC champion.
They're both very intimidating forces, and that sumbitch called me out directly to my face to get in the ring with him. And I'm getting in the ring with him. I am not going to run away.
What?
Maybe, but he's going
Friday
to have
night,
to catch me first.
June
You know what?
25th, the Colorado Cup, twitch.tv/Rocky
That's
Mountain
right.
Pro. Check it
When
out.
you talk enough shit and you say enough things that get you in trouble, sometimes you got to pay the piper. I ain't going to run away from the piper. I'm going to get in the ring. I'm going to get in there. And whether he catches me or not is totally up to him. But I tell you this much right now, he ain't going to touch me.
Is this like do you have like a 3-minute time limit that you got to stay in the ring and you win $1,000 like Spider-Man?
No,
you
no,
win
no,
your
this ain't
life
like
is
Spider-Man,
what
nah.
you win from Damon
No,
H.
this is
You
like
win your
for
life.
real. Like, you ever seen a Royal Rumble? Where,
Yeah.
you know, there's
Yeah.
30 people
Yeah.
where somebody comes
Yeah.
in every 90 seconds?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, you're doing the Royal Rumble part.
That's what it is. Yeah,
Oh.
I believe so. Yes,
Okay.
that's what it sounded like. I don't think that.
Yeah, it sounded like you were just gonna meet in the ring.
I thought it was going to be
I'd accept that too.
I thought it
But
was a one-on-one mano y mano.
Well, whatever it is, Marky's getting in there. Props to him.
I took it as though he wanted.
And you're going to want to send your
an encounter
cards
there.
and letters and flowers to Melissa Ritchie. Yeah.
I
We'll see.
want you to
We'll
I want
see.
you to give him I want you to give him the clothesline from hell.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could reach
you might
to
have
the
to
top
jump.
of his chest.
It might have to be a jumping one.
Yeah.
Do
you
it.
have to jump
Marky, do you want to
and
stand
go.
on my shoulders?
Yeah. Right.
Nah, I got a surprise for him.
Oh, okay.
I got a surprise for him. He doesn't know.
Is it a box?
None of the guys out there. I got a surprise for him.
Is it a dunks?
Watch.
Yeah. Is it a chocolate?
Oh, I'm definitely bringing some donkeys with me while I'm out there. But I got a
They have-
surprise for
Hey,
one, Mr. Damon Ace.
They have 2 dunks.
They
So we're
do,
all-
and I made sure that we got an Airbnb that was within 10 minutes of one on the way. So yeah, well, we took care of that. But I got a surprise for one, Mr. Damon Ace, when I get out all the way to Colorado and face him like eyes to belly in the ring, because it
Yeah,
won't
you
be
got-
eye to eye.
You got this. You
I got
bite
it.
that belly button. You do that. You got
I got a
this.
surprise for him.
Yeah.
You bite that belly button.
I'll bite your bloody legs off.
I'm gonna bite your belly button.
Anywho, thank you guys. Have a wonderful weekend.
Have a pleasant weekend.
Ooh, have a pleasant
We should be wishing
weekend.
people a pleasant weekend and viewing of this video.
Yes.
And,
should be.
and how most
Yes.
of Tim's dates ended when he was younger. Good night and good luck.
Good form, sir. Good form.
Good-
Excellent
good-
form.
Good form.
Excellent form.
Excellent form. Pleasant form.
Pleasant form.
Tim.